Hello everyone, welcome to the Ember Company PowerPoint training for today. I'm just going to give you some basic instructions on how to use PowerPoint to help you in your job, whatever that might be. Basically our goals for today are to kind of give you some of the basics of PowerPoint, how to add text to slides, planning for your PowerPoint, adding slides to the presentation, adding images, as well as some transitions, some basic transitions, selecting a theme, and eventually presenting that PowerPoint. Okay, so if you take a look at my screen here, you can see I've got PowerPoint on my desktop. But let's say you don't have PowerPoint on your desktop. One thing you can do, I'm on Windows 10, so I'm just clicking on the search bar right here. I'm just going to type PowerPoint, and I'm going to go ahead and click it once, and it opens. Okay, now what you can see here, there's a few different options as far as design themes. Now, there are some here. You can do a search as well. But let's just keep it simple today and go with some of the basic ones that they have here. Now, one of my favorites is the circuit one, so I'm just going to go ahead and click that once. And then I get a few options. Let's just go with this dark neutral color because I really like that. But you can, if you're a little bit more fun, you can pick the green or the blue or something like that. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and hit create. Again, we're just going to keep it very simple. And you can see that I am given this basic slide here. Okay, now I'm just going to give you a quick preview of this, and then we're going to go to my save file that I do have to kind of speed along this training. But you can already see that I already have a few options as far as what I want to do. Now for adding text, it's very simple. All you do is you can see the boxes. They even tell you where to click to add the text or the title. So I click here. It's already in a big enough font. And I'm just going to go ahead and title this Ember CPR Training, because that's the topic for today, just to kind of give you some refreshers on CPR. And the presenter today is me, Travis Closter. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in my subtitle. Some people like to put the date and a few other things. If you wanted to put the date, you would just go ahead and hit enter. That would bring you down a few spaces. So today is April 10, 2016. Okay. Again, you have other options. You can hit tab. You can resize this if you want using the bars if you don't like the size of it. Right. So there you go. So let's say now that I want to add a few slides. Okay, I'm just going to go over this one time, keeping it very simple again. All my new slide options are right over here. You can see I can click this one to add a default slide where it's just title and content. But let's say I want a slide with a picture or a video or something like that. I click on new slides and I get this drop down menu right here. So one of my favorites and one of the most basic ones to use is to content. So I would just go ahead and click that if I want a picture slide. Okay. Just to kind of give us a little bit more advanced perspective, I'm just going to go ahead and go out of this basic presentation and go to my saved one. What I do to do that is I just click on File, or I can click this Open here. But I'll go ahead and click on File today, and I'll go ahead and say Open. And under my recently saved, I have this, but let's say you want to go further. Let's say it's not in your recent presentations, it's something older. Click Computer, click on the folder, or I could click on Browse. I get all my documents right here. In my folders, the folder I save this to is COMME 169, and I click on this right here for my more complete PowerPoint presentation. Okay, so you can see from here that I've gotten a few slides in. I'm navigating through those slides on the left-hand side if I want to edit, and you can see a little bit of what this looks like. Again, I can pause the video and give you some explanation if this is going a little bit too fast. But you can see here between step 1 and step 3, there's a slide missing. How convenient. So we're just going to go ahead and work on this slide together to kind of give you a better picture of what you need to do in your own PowerPoint experiences. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go to new slide here. This next one is going to be all about opening up the airway and giving rescue breaths. So I want to content because I'm going to want to show how to give those rescue breaths and how to open up the airway. So I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click to add the title. Okay, so this is step 2, giving rescue breaths. Okay, simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this slide. This is where I'm going to have all my text. Some basic tips on text. One, you want to make sure, usually the rule of PowerPoint is, or one that I've been presented with, is that you don't want to go over more than 5 words in a line, and usually you don't want to go more than 5 lines. The reason being, if you're giving chunks of paragraphs, you're probably not going to be very engaging as a presenter. So you want to try and keep it simple, kind of keep your audience guessing a little bit, and they're going to be a little bit more engaged, meaning you don't have to use complete sentences, okay? It's a little bit more lax in a PowerPoint presentation. So let's just go ahead and think about what we want to write here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to want to do after, again, going back to scene 1 here, or step 1, checking the victim, calling 911, and returning to the victim. The first thing I'm going to want to do is get in a comfortable position, meaning I'm going to want to kneel down next to the person and kind of get ready to start giving them rescue breaths. Next thing I want to do is I want to check airway, right? I want to make sure that it's clear of anything that might be causing blockage. If there's a blockage, then when you're breathing in, it's obviously not going to do anything, so I want to check that first. After I check that airway, I want to open their airway. Again, there will be a picture over here to kind of show what that looks like, what you need to do. And I want to give, after that point, after I have their airway open, I want to give 2 rescue breaths. Now, some of you might be thinking, wait, I've got to put my mouth on their mouth. Yes, that is kind of gross. So let's, as I'm going through this presentation, I would probably want to go ahead and let people know some ways that they can protect themselves while giving these 2 rescue breaths. Now, what I did, just to go back one more time, I hit enter to go to my next bullet, and I want to kind of give some more specific information under this one. So what the bullet system allows you to do is you can kind of hit tab after hitting enter, and it kind of gives you a little bit more organization to your slide. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to say personal safety here. I'm just going to give the audience some personal safety tips on how to best keep themselves protected over the course of that. And that's just a basic, adding text to the slide. So let's say I want a picture now. Okay, I want a picture in this box over here. Now there's a few different ways I can go about that. One, you can see here that this is very simple. You can add tables, a chart, smart art graphic, a video, online pictures, and just generic pictures. So I already saved a picture that I want, so I could click on this one if I'm accessing a file on my computer. But let's say we don't want to do that. Let's say we want to be a little bit more complicated than that. Well, what we do is we just go here to insert. We click that once on the ribbon up here, and then there's this pictures option here. This brings me to my navigation. I'm on my local C disk, and I'm already in my pictures subfolder. Okay, so I'm just going to go further into this subfolder and in my CPR training and insert this picture. And notice that it fills up the box, which is really nice. So here's their blocked airway. We can see this, and we can see what we need to do with our hands in order to open that airway up. Now let's say this is a little bit too small, and I want this a little bit bigger. All I need to do is click on the sizing handles, and that makes my picture a little bit larger. And we're just going to keep it simple. There are other things you could do to the photograph to make it, I don't know, more appealing, I guess. But we're just going to keep it there today on resizing. And, let's say I want to move the photo down here. Okay, all I have to do is, you see this little cross right here. You just click it once, drag it. Pretty simple stuff. Okay, so we talked about adding a picture to your PowerPoint, but let's go ahead and say it's not on your hard drive. Let's say it's out on the internet. Again, it's very simple. You can just click right here, or we can go back to that insert and go to online pictures. You can see that little globe there that tells you it's online. Let's say we're going to go through Bing, and let's just Google for chest compressions, because that's what we're going to be working on right here. Let's say we don't want clip art only. Okay, let's say we want all images, And I really like this one because it does show a little bit about how you're supposed to give the compressions, what the rate is. And that works pretty good. Again, let's just resize that a little bit, make sure it looks nice. Okay, so there we go. As far as other things to keep in mind, again, we're talking about the cycle here. As far as giving the compressions to breath rate, how many you should be giving, that sort of thing. I'm waiting for help to arrive. Here, I put in a video earlier, but let me just go ahead and put that in one more time so that way we can see it. I just deleted it there. Again, if you have something that you want to delete, you just click it, hit delete on your keyboard, and it's gone. Okay, so I'm just going to insert a video here. This time I'm just going to click on this icon. And we're going to wait a little bit. So here we go. We want to go on YouTube. And we're going to take a look for CPR. And we're just going to go with this first one here. Took a look through it. Seemed pretty good. We're going to go ahead and insert that one. And we'll make this a little bit bigger. Right there. And when we play the PowerPoint, that video should play automatically. At least we're hoping it will. Okay. So anyways, this is basically my last slide. Again, went through formatting and layout, how to change all that, so everybody knows how to do that. You should know about how to add text, add pictures, add video. But one thing we did not go over, that was adding transitions. So we're just going to click on this transitions bar right here at the top on this ribbon. And what this does is it gives you some kind of cool effects to go in between slides. It's very simple to do. All you do is you click on this little drop down arrow to see all your options. And my general advice is don't pick something that's going to be so distracting that you are going to take your audience away from the content of your PowerPoint. And so what I liked was this push one. Makes sense. We're doing chest compressions, right? So there's going to be some pushing involved. And so I thought that was kind of a clever transition to put in. So we click that one. And let's say I want the duration of those transitions to last a little. Let's say we want them to go a little bit quicker. Okay, can go down to 1 second, 1.5 right here. You can see this duration right here. But I like that too, so we'll just keep it there. And now let's just say that we want this transition applied to all our slides. So it's not just on the summary one. So we're just going to go ahead and click Apply to All. And that's it. It's that simple. Okay. Let's say we want to save our PowerPoint. I click File. I click Save As. I go ahead and I find my folder that I'm looking to. And let's say, yep, we want to save it here in this COM E169. Again, I could also go to my documents and save it under a different folder, but I like this one. And I titled it Ember CPR Training. I hit save. Do I want to replace it? Sure, why not? Okay, so that's pretty simple. The last thing we're going to do is we're just going to go into our slideshow. It's right here on the top. So let's say you want to give your presentation, everything's done, you made sure you don't have any spelling errors or anything like that. You can just go to this slideshow area and hit from beginning, and that'll bring your presentation up. But let's say you just want to do it in one click and you don't really want to root around in the menus. All you have to do is press F5 on your keyboard, and that starts your slideshow. Now that I'm in the slideshow, all I have to do is click, and I go in between my slides. You can see here that it turned out pretty nice. All the information I want on there is there. And again, we're trying to keep it simple so that way people have just a quick refresher on this. In the video, wait for it to come up, and then you can hit the play button. And it'll get started. There we go. Okay, and that's just a nice way to kind of give your audience some more visual information and a quick how-to of some certain topics. Okay, so there you go. that's basically our PowerPoint and how to make one. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me, or at the end of this presentation today. I'm willing to answer a few questions, and hopefully you found it informative. Have a great day.